Hi everyone, Rachel Johnson here, broker owner of Luna Realty Belize in the beautiful country of Belize. We are starting a brand new series today called Cayo Convos, which is when we focus in on properties in the Cayo district. This is the most western district here in Belize mainland, and it is one that we're seeing a lot of people are showing interest in. And really, I would say since COVID, we've seen this district grow more and more in popularity. A lot of times we had those adventure travelers who are coming out to the Cayo district to explore the ruins or go cave tubing or go through ATM caves. But we are seeing more of the average traveler starting to visit Cayo. And as a result, more people who are interested in owning real estate out here. Cayo, think of it as the agricultural heartland of the country, very fertile, rich soil, a lush jungle landscape. It's where we have a lot of the Mayan ruins in this area as well. And it's a place that a lot of people tend to gravitate towards if they want space, if they want to be able to garden or farm, or they simply just want to be by a river. So today we're going to be focusing in on Carmelita Gardens. This is a property that I've been following since 2012 when I met the developer, Phil Hahn. It's on the right-hand side of that picture there. And Phil and I would see each other a few times a year at least, and I would go check out the property, watch the development, and watch it progress. When Phil bought the property in 2010, it was just a cattle pasture. It was essentially 98 acres of just a cattle pasture. And today he has really transformed it into a beautiful planned community where residents are living full-time, and we are seeing a lot more growth within the development as well. And something that I want to highlight about Carmelita Gardens is that it's completely off-grid. So the community that it's in, the village that it's in, is called Santa Familia. It's about 7 miles away from Spanish Lookout, 7 miles away from San Ignacio, and power and public water actually runs right by the property. But Phil decided when he first purchased this property in 2010 that he wanted to build an off-grid community. There were a few reasons for that. One of them was, of course, the self-sustainability feature. He didn't want to rely on public utilities. And so what that means for residents within Carmelita Gardens is they have their own systems. They have their own off-grid systems with solar and with their own cisterns, and they don't have to depend on the public utilities. And especially now as Belize is growing so much, there is a big strain on the public utilities. Power is going out more often, but people within Carmelita Gardens don't even have to worry about that because they are on their own systems there. So here we have seen this village really start growing within the property. And I know Phil has put a lot of energy and blood, sweat, and tears into this property to really have it be what it is today. And I do have to say it has been incredible to watch the growth. I have seen a lot of projects start and stop and never resume, but Phil is there, boots on the ground every day and making sure that this is a property that gets built out. And what I really like personally about Carmelita Gardens is that it's not just a subdivision, right? It's very easy for a developer to come in, buy a large tract of land, look at the minimum size of lots that he needs to do to optimize his profit, and then sell off those lots. Maybe he'll put the road in, he'll probably put some green space in because that's a requirement by the lands department here, but there's not necessarily a vision that goes into a lot of subdivisions. Carmelita Gardens, though, is a planned development. Every nook and cranny of the property has been well thought out. For example, Phil has allocated about 20%, which is double the amount of green space that the lands department requires when you're putting properties together, because he wanted to have ample space for orchards, community gardens, and he's already started to put those gardens into play. The fruit's already producing, and it's just really incredible to see how it is continuing to grow. And it is a riverfront community, so you still have those water features there. So Carmelita Gardens is located about 7 miles away from San Ignacio and about 7 miles away from Spanish Lookout. Drive-wise, it's about 20 minutes to each of those towns. But we do know, and you probably heard Spanish Lookout before, it is one of the biggest Mennonite communities in Belize, and it's where a lot of people tend to do their shopping for anything related to agriculture. So if you have chickens, for example, you get your seed there. A lot of construction materials are also produced in Spanish Lookout, which makes it very convenient at Carmelita Gardens because it's not that far of a distance to get to those materials. And then in addition to that, San Ignacio is a very popular part of the Cayo district. This is really the primary town, the two twin towns here, San Ignacio right over here, and then Santa Elena, the two twin towns here. And this is where you tend to find a lot of different restaurants and shopping and just a variety of things within this area right over here. So Carmelita Gardens is located within the Santa Familia village. So you go out of the property, make a left, and within a minute or two, maybe not even 2 minutes, you're right over there by the Hume's family store, which is where they have groceries, hardware selection. A new gym went in. So if you are interested in working out, you're able to get right over there in just a matter of minutes. Now, what is really convenient as well is there is a bridge in plan place to go from Santa Elena over here to Santa Familia. And it'll come out in about this area over here. You can see the road. The road will go in, go over the bridge, and then you can get to Carmelita in just a matter of a few minutes. So this is a huge deal for accessibility for people who are in the Santa Familia village, but then of course from Carmelita too, because it means that you can get to all of these amenities. You see the hospitals here, which are always important for us to think about. You can go to the restaurants, the market, get your fresh produce, and be there in just a matter of minutes. Now, it wasn't a bad drive before at only 20 minutes, but it is getting a lot more convenient. So they already staked that bridge out, and we are excited for the progress there. Now, within Carmelita Gardens, there are 222 lots. At this point, less than 25% of the inventory remains available for ownership. Now, when you dig a little bit deeper into the map, you can see that there's even a more limited number or less number of riverfront lots available. And then even digging a little bit deeper, less lots of the larger size. So just depending on what it is you're looking for, you may find that the river lots better fit your needs, or perhaps a corner lot in the gardens area, or perhaps one of these smaller lots. Like if you just want a simple cottage, then you can do that in one of the smaller lots. You can put the cottage in the bigger one too if you want to, but just depending on your need for space. Now, I know what's pretty neat is there is a homeowner here on the peninsula, and they ended up purchasing a few lots here, and they built their home in one of the lots, and then picked up the other lot adjoining and put in their own little garden. So they have mature fruit trees that are already already growing right there as well. On the property, there are about 40 homes that are already constructed, another 5 under construction, 15 more that have already committed or in the pipeline, and then a few more, a handful more that are just now starting to think about their next stage of starting to build. And something that I really appreciate about Carmelita Gardens is that they have a team in-house who can help you through the process of building, should you decide that you want to be building there sooner rather than later. And you don't have to worry about designing. You don't have to worry about finding a reputable contractor. Carmelita has figured all of this out for you. They've been around, for quite a long time, since 2010, 14 years, almost 15 years at this point. And so they have found an incredible group of people in-house who will help you with the design process. Yes, they have models that you can choose from, but if you want to modify those models, or if you want to build something custom, you can work there with the architect who has already done a fabulous job, fantastic job with these homes here. In addition to that, there is that in-house contractor. So you get updates regularly, you get pictures regularly. If you want to come down and spend time here while the construction is happening, you can. However, you don't have to. And that is the beautiful part of being here within Carmelita Gardens. You know that you're getting a quality product and you're getting the assistance that you need. I can tell you, it is a lot of fun to build and design your own home. And of course, you'll have great people here at Carmelita to do that. But when you're trying to build in another country, there is a lot to consider. And even if you're a builder in your home country, I can tell you building in Belize is not the same. But if you want to be here in person and watch the construction, you can certainly do that. However, you don't necessarily need to get involved. You can let the experts there do the construction there for you. But as you can see here on the site map, a lot of gardens, a lot of green space, and that's just not something that you typically see in a lot of subdivisions. Here, Phil has really allocated land to be best serving for the people. And you can see here in these lots that a lot of the lots back up to garden space or green space. So you have that buffer between you and your neighbor. Now, there are some lots that you are offering seller financing right now. Feel free to reach out to me. That information changes fairly regularly. So just reach out to me, info@lunarealtybelize.com, and we can get those details over to you. And something else that I mentioned to you that makes Carmelita Gardens unique compared to other properties, especially if you're comparing it to a subdivision, is the fact that you have amenities already on site. So you have gardening, right? You have the ability to garden, whether you want it to be your tropical fruits or whatever you want to be growing there, you're able to do that. As I mentioned, Carmelita, this land was a cattle pasture. And so what that means is you have really, really rich and fertile soil there. So if you want a mango tree, limes, lemons, plantains, bananas, watermelon, pineapples, you can start growing it there at Carmelita. Now there is the shared communal gardening area, but you can also grow, of course, right there on your lot. Or if there's an adjacent lot next to yours, you can pick that up and have it be your own personal garden. In addition to that, there are additional amenities like pickleball, basketball. There is a group of residents that play regularly, so you can join right in and have a friendly game with your neighbors. River access, let me go back to the map here. So you will see river access points throughout the entire property. Right over here at this brown lot, this is also the Riverside Park. So you can bring your chair, your little folding chair with you, plop down right over there and enjoy the river. You can go kayaking, canoeing, tubing. I know something that a lot of folks tend to do is they'll take their device, whether it's a kayak or a tube, and then just float along the Belize River over here and have a really great afternoon. You can even do some fishing there should you choose. And then there is a pool coming. Let me come back over here. So where you see this upside down triangle, this is where there will be a community pool and community gathering area. If you want to bring a picnic lunch with you or have a barbecue, you're able to do that in this area right over here. So super excited about that. That'll be a great addition to the community. But otherwise, you really just get to enjoy a quiet yet active life here in Carmelita Gardens. A lot of the folks who own here already are people who were just over the rat race in their home country. They didn't want to have to deal with the ongoing nonsense in their home country and wanted to just simply come down here to Belize to relax, not talk about politics, not talk about issues going on at home. They just wanted to be able to unwind here and truly, truly relax in a tropical environment. So I encourage you to reach out if you're interested in learning more about Carmelita Gardens. This is a really remarkable property. It's been very fun to watch the progress, and one that I think would be a great option for somebody who is looking to be within an off-grid community, right? When you move to another country, you don't need to do it alone. You also don't need to be alone when you get here. And Carmelita Gardens is a great place for you to have your Belizean family. So with that, feel free to reach out to us, info@lunarealtybelize.com, info@lunarealtybelize.com. We have an FAQ guide, community brochure. We can do tours with you if you're not able to come down in person, and we can go through Zoom, but show you what is available. Like I mentioned, less than 25% of the inventory is available. So we are anticipating it to sell fairly quickly. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to hear from you and maybe see you in person as well. Bye, everyone.